questions on what I spoke about?
I would love to know, like, you talked about a woman who had a child of was 6 weeks old and 10 years older. She was the wife of the comrades who was fighting also during that time. So I want to know why she was like took away from her family. I believe one thing, maybe I've listened wrong. She was also influential during that time, or is her husband was that guy who was influential?
You tell me. She wasn't politically active, but
I was going to say maybe she was influential just like Winnie Mandela was also just because of Mandela. That is what I thought.
So
she was a wife of a hero, that maybe that is why.
So that means that even though in two people, if you are not infected, you are affected. Why I'm saying so is just because that they knew that if you are a threat, you were selling the same, those thoughts you had on yourself with your wife. So that's why they were doing that.
anyone else to answer that one? Because all those things that have been said so far are true, and I want to add, I'm trying to find another one. I'm sure there are more.
Okay.
I was going to ask you to elaborate more about the Sabotage Act.
Okay, I'll come back to Sabotage Act in a minute. It is to punish. He was giving evidence in the dock. So he saw the police take his wife away. Or he was in the dock and his wife was being taken away. And he was going to give evidence. He hadn't yet given evidence, he was going to give evidence. So what is that meant to do to him?
Okay, sorry. I think they wanted to disturb him a little bit, like they do in our days, because if the police are looking for you and then you don't find you, they will take your girlfriend. And then they'll say they'll release her if you hand yourself over.
And it's just to punish you and to punish her and to show that they have power over the children, power of life and death, power of doing anything to you. So it is totally vindictive. It's totally vindictive.
And my second question is that you've explained this thing of saying that if someone is arrested and the statement is proposed to you that you've been arrested because of this thing, that simply means that people who want to find facts according to this case. Through my observation, when you are saying that Madibas and his colleagues already admitted that they are guilty, so that simply means the case was obviously saying that they are guilty. They think that they are facing now their sentence. But through my reading to this, it took from 1963 until 1964. I don't know which month, maybe June or what. So to me, it seems like I want to know what exactly like the process on that case, so that it took that much, because obviously those people they are chosen, they all already admitted that they are guilty. So I want to know what prolongs the case.
I'm going to quickly go to the list one, the Sabotage Act. The Sabotage Act was passed in response to the bombs, and it was to deal with sabotage. And in 1977, between 1976 and 1977, there were many of us who burnt our schools down, or tried to burn schools down. And at the end of 1977, Parliament made a law that said if you burnt your school down, that was sabotage. Does that make sense? If you burnt your school down, that was sabotage. Do you think that's sabotage? Anyway, most kids want to burn their school down if they get cross, but that's not, it shouldn't be done. It's wrong, but it shouldn't be done. But come back to, so the Sabotage Act, that's what it did, and you could get a life sentence or the death sentence. You could get a life sentence or the death sentence. And the sad thing is that they don't teach this to young lawyers in South Africa anymore. They don't teach the old laws in law schools, whether it's at Fort Hare or UCT, they don't teach this to our children, our young people who are going to become lawyers. And it's important to know our history in law. So, you were asking how the trial got dragged out. The state had a lot of witnesses. They had a chap called Bruno Mtolo. You'll see his evidence is in there. And he was a very shady character who told a lot of lies. So he had to be cross-examined.